Bonjour, monsieur.
President Bear, here we find ourselves in EPCOT. It's time to do how the French do.
Going to Monsieur Paul.
Yes, it's been far too long since we've been summoned upstairs to this restaurant, but as your number one choice of food entertainment, we're here to try all the French delights. You don't have to, you're vegan. I'm not. Hopefully, I don't leave with a fancy mustache.
It's time to foodie and chill.
Now, Monsieur Paul restaurant is actually on the second floor of the France Pavilion, but you enter from the back, like near the Hollis Bakery.
We got a beautiful starting sparkling wine. Why not enjoy Monsieur Paul and cheers to August. Fresh, bright, crisp, gorgeous sparkling wine. I'm here for this. I would give it a 4 out of 5 wines. It makes me feel very fine.
Monsieur Paul, looking to put a little sparkle in your first taste, your first sip with this welcome sparkling champagne. A 60-40 something, but I'm telling you that I am all in either way. Ooh, very bubbly. I feel like I'm drinking bubbles and not drinking champagne. It's filled with whimsy. Crisp, fruit forward, a little bit of apple, tasty. That is making me feel welcome, like I'm their guest. 4.5 out of 5 claws. So we are going all in on Amuse Bouche territory. We have our little tarts here. For my portion, for the prestige, it is a little special bread topped with an onion compote, and they have little slices of anchovies here on top. So, you know, a little bit of fish to start the day. I'm gonna fork this. A little one bite Amuse Bouche. Very delicate, very tasty. I love how the anchovies come alive on top. You get that nice, like, salty fish punch without being, like, overly ishy, and it sits on top of that nice flavor of the onion jam and compote, top of the tart. Very tasty. You get that 4 out of 5 claws. It's very important when you come to an experience like this to experience your food. You're not just coming here to eat. The experience is the experience. Like, yes, it's food, but you need to have fun, enjoy yourself, learn a lot, have conversation, talk. That's what these kind of meals are all about. Similar to like a Comté or a Victoria and Albert's, per se.
Now, in my answer to Bear's tart, I have a little chickpea situation with some creamed eggplant and some olive. This is a beautiful little piece, and I feel like my amuse is about to be booshed. It's almost like a unique French polenta cake, a little bit drier, a little more flavorful. It has like a nice little like creaminess to it, but dryness that you can just kind of like add a drink to. And then it gives it some nice complexity. I really like that. I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5 tarts. Even with the olive, it's delicious.
Now, going in on the Amuse Bouche, the menu has updated since last time we were here. The main menu, they call it Discovery Menu. That's mostly the menu that we had last time. And there's some seasonal changes for ingredients, but it's generally the same. The puff fish and everything else that I had before. The new menu is the Prestige menu, which is what we both got. The new chef that arrived last fall has put some work into making things a lot more seasonal and regional. So even with the Amuse Bouche, this is very much like south of France. So you're experiencing new things all over. This is a nice little like cheese puff. Cheesy, poofy, but French. Ooh. It's a nice like deep cheese flavor. It's given Brazilian cheese bread, but less dense, a lot more light, more like a cheese cloud almost. Goes down well. Nice like mild to sharp cheese in there. It's like 60% cheese, 40% bread, but I love that. It's definitely working up my taste buds. It's something unique and interesting. I give that 4.25 out of 5 claws.
So we have a beautiful, almost what looks like a tartare, and I'm just gonna try and put it all on the fork here. I think I need a little assist with the spoon. Here we go. Oop, it's not everything, but that's fine. Cheers. Wow, almost tastes like eating a lemon rind. It's very lemon forward, very herbaceous. I think it would be better served with something. I'll give it a 2 out of 5 Amuse Bouches. Not my favorite part of the Amuse Bouche.
So the last Amuse Bouche for my plate is a little mini serving of escargot. The France Pavilion was actually the first place I tried escargot when we tried it at Chef de France years ago. I actually weirdly live streamed that one, but ever since then, every now and then I get the craving to like try different kinds of escargot. This is escargot in a little broth here. Just scoop out that little snail, tasty little guy. This is not the one that's going to end your life, but this is definitely one that I am excited to try. It's tasty. It's like soaked in the broth, so when you bite into it, it's like a snail gusher almost, but not in like the weird Nickelodeon cartoon sort of way, more like the fancy Flintstones dining in bare feet sort of way, if that makes any sense. But it is very tasty. I would challenge you that if you've never had escargot, to try it at least once. It is an odd texture, but honestly, it's a better texture than say like a raw or steamed oyster. So not quite that weird. Definitely a lot more palatable than either of those. I would give that a 4 out of 5 plus.
Lastly, we have this beautiful little soup situation with carrots, and I feel like it's a shot. I see like some garlic and things. Let's just take it like a shot. Not a shot. All I did was drink the liquid. I still need to spoon it out. It really just tastes like vegetables. Like the broth is just like a nothing burger. It just tastes like vegetables. Maybe with the last of this like citrus thing. No, I think the only part of my amuse bouche that I liked was the tart. The rest of it did not amuse my bouche. I would give this a 3 out of 5 soups. It's not a soup.
So again, we're focusing on the experience. This course is all about the tomatoes, the different sort of tomatoes, bringing out the acidity and the different things. You have these nice tomatoes in this tomato broth at the base, and then we have a little like goat cheese cream on top, and then we'll like sprinkle of this ice that will melt in, and then you get all of the flavors. I am intrigued for this foodie experience. The natural way that like the tomatoes pair with like that goat cheese cream, set a little like acidity and a spark, and you have the, like that savory sour of the goat cheese. That is amazing. I like the simple elegance of like how they do food here. Like they definitely want you to taste the different ingredients and different flavors, sort of like bring them to life. They want to make sure that you taste both the history and the region where these things come from. That is a 4.75 out of 5 plus. And then we have this little focaccia that's got a little bit of like pureed tomato on top and the tiniest little leaf. It's like a lonely tree on top of a bluff. It's like a French style focaccia, but not focaccia. The bread here, it's a delight. It's nice, fresh, baked. The France Pavilion on its own is known for their bread they make in La Halles Bakery. They do bread unlike anywhere else in EPCOT. You won't find better bread. Even in Germany, Germany does have like, you know, their own uniqueness when it comes to the bread. But if you want like bread in EPCOT, France Pavilion, second to none. I would give that 4 out of 5 plus.
here we have my tomato version of the same thing that Bear got on his appetizer. And it's just basically the same thing. It's just no cheese on top, which is nice. Cheers. The marinade on the tomato is amazing. There's a little mint on there with the pesto. It's very bright, delicious. Tastes like summer. I absolutely love that. I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5 tomatoes. That is delicious. Now we're going to do the focaccia. And I feel like I have to do a tomato with the focaccia. Or no, I think Bear just ate the focaccia by itself. So let me just do the focaccia. Why does that taste like pizza? It literally just tastes like the best pizza like crust with some tomato sauce on there, and then like even though it was just a little leaf, I just felt like that was the rest of the pizza with like a cheese and everything. Even though there was no cheese, it just took me to pizza. That was amazing. I love that. That is a 4.75 out of 5 focaccia. It would be better if it was bigger, but I loved it. I'm loving this.
A spiral of bread. You're getting that nice cheesy bread on top. It's giving vibes of like Topolino's like I'm going to stab you bread with a little less sharp. Ooh, messy. Definitely get like a nice that roasted cheese flavor on top of the bread. Nice crunch, soft inside, as you expect bread to be. That is excellent. We like a good bread course. 4.25 out of 5 claws.
The classic baguette that you can get at Chef de France and Les Halles Bakery. You can also get here in Monsieur Paul in a smaller version that I absolutely love. Now they do give you some Spanish oil to go with, but I just want to do a little bitey bite. That nice, beautiful baguette flavor that you get at each location is just here and amplified. I absolutely enjoy it. I'm going to give it a 3 out of 5 baguettes. I think it's a little overcooked, but still tasty.
Baguette is bae, baguette is life. Because you're not going to come to a French restaurant and not try baguettes, whether that's here or that's Chef de France or even at Les Halles Bakery. The baguette bags are extremely famous here for a reason, because nobody is turning down good bread. Everything we expect, nothing we don't. It's a nice, deep baguette. You get that nice, warm center. I'm breaded. Breaded? Breaded. 4.5 out of 5 claws. Last of the breads, we have this nice seeded sunflower bread with our house butter. Thank you. The secret to their house butter here being it's topped with a little bit of lemon. This bread is also vegan, so the princess could have chosen this one, but she went with the baguette. And then I polluted it with butter, of course. I can be kind of a lemon hater sometimes. I actually prefer the label lemon hypocrite because I love lemonade. But almost every other form of lemon, I balk at. Lemon pepper chicken, lemon squirted over fish. I have limits for lemon. But the lemon in this butter actually does something I didn't expect, the way that it brings that alive on top of the seeded bread. It's excellent. That sort of like citrus spark on top of the butter. I think I want lemon on butter more often. And I don't often say I want more lemon in anything. Look at that, 4.75 out of 5 claws. The house butter is peak.
I got my own seeded bread that is not contaminated, like Bear said, and oof, it's so hot. Oh my gosh. It is giving like Le Cellier, but a little bit more elevated. Definitely better than what Le Cellier has to offer. I love the seeded bread. It is much better than the baguette, which I'm surprised because usually I am a baguette bias. I will give it a 5 out of 5 breads. It gives very good bread.
So for the seafood course, we're getting a nice, beautiful poached Maine lobster, poached in a lobster butter with a little bit of caviar on top to sort of fancy it up. Then you have a little bit of focus on the acidity with a lobster bisque here in the middle, and then a corn puree topped with little mini popcorn. So you're getting all of the fancy all on one plate. So corn puree, lobster bisque, poached lobster, poached in lobster butter, all of the ocean, and then corn, because corn. So we're gonna go for a little bit of the lobster with the caviar on top. I'm gonna get it in the base of the lobster bisque, which is supposed to help with the creaminess of both the corn and the poached Maine lobster and the caviar. Just want balance in all things, even in France. I find this dish very intriguing, the combination of things. I have to sort of actively acknowledge my own bias. I hate popcorn. Hate it. It comes from having worked at a movie theater for 5 years, going home 6 days a week, reeking of popcorn and people's spilled Diet Cokes. The smell makes me ick. It's my personal ick. Plus, obviously, my doctor doesn't want to eat me eating popcorn, but I told him easily, you don't got to worry about that. Apparently, he does. The Maine lobster is nice and rich. I like how, instead of using some sort of lemon or other citrus fruit for the acid to sort of cut through the ischias, they're using a lobster bisque. They're using lobster to cut through that oceany, ishy flavor of what you would normally get from a lobster, which is a very interesting technique. I like the corn puree and what that adds to it. I don't like the popcorn, but that's just a me thing. I can understand its place in here, the sort of texture that it adds. I just don't love. But the lobster with lobster bisque, that is an amazing thing. I would have never thought to use lobster bisque as sort of the thing that cuts the richness and ishiness of lobster itself. The thought that goes into that is more intriguing to me than the actual dish. I'll give that 4 out of 5 claws.
Three-beet soup. It's essentially not like an espresso martini that we call three-bean soup, but this is three-beet soup. So we have beets multiple ways. We have red beets, we have yellow beets, we have gelatin beets, but not with gelatin. This is vegan still. I'm gonna go with the yellow beet because the red ones are a little rough for me. Cheers. When we did Victoria and Albert's and they gave me beets, they totally masked the flavor of the beets and made it so that I could enjoy a different aspect of beets without feeling like I'm eating the earth. This is just a showcase of the earth, so I just feel like I just ate dirt and I don't like earthy beets, so this isn't avant-garde enough for me. It's not good. I'm going to give it a 2 out of 5 beets unless you like beets, and then I would say it's a 4 out of 5 for you, but for me, I don't like this.
I'm actually, believe it or not, quite jealous of the princess's course for this round. Mine was a lobster, but hers is beets 3 ways. Disney was the place that got me stuck on beets. We try to cook beets at home, but it's more mess than it's worth. I love beets, and that's 100% Disney's fault. If they had given me the option of beets over the lobster, best believe I would have chosen the beets. Lobster to me is one of the most overhyped seafoods on the planet. Fine dining has made lobster this great thing, and lobster's fine. The lobster that we had, how it was prepared was excellent, but that and crab to me almost not worth the effort. Maybe that's the elitist in me because I lived in Alaska for so long and seafood there is so plentiful that lobster and crab are boring. But beets to me, excited. The different ways they cook these, the beet rounds, and you have the beet gelatin that's not gelatin, and then, this has been the plate so far that has sparked my interest because I love a good beet. Golden beets, red beets. This is going to be a good one. For me, that sings the way the earthiness of the beets come through, but you have that nice like tartness. The gelatin beets, that's very interesting. That could almost be like a dessert for me. Like I would take that over like a jello, but like all in a plate. Like you just see like the each one of them come alive. Like they're unique, but they all taste good together. It beat me, but in a good way. I'm exactly where I want to be. 4.5 out of 5 claws. They're diving into French history with this selection of Dover sole here. A nice fish selection dedicated to the chef, a French chef with the longest running 3 Michelin stars, using his recipe, their own take on it, that is over 100 years old. So not only are you using their take at Monsieur Paul, you're also experiencing a little history in their culture and learning all in one dish. And we like that. Food is more than food. Sometimes it is the culmination of culture and history all on a plate. Very, very French selection of fish on a nice like cream base with the julienne vegetables. A nice white flaky fish that's meant to like soak up like that cream sauce on the vegetables. You can taste sort of like the history, the delicacy in the way it's prepared, but it feels classic French with both that cream and the fish. Very delicate, very light. I think the lobster was slightly better, but I can understand the ode to history in this plate. I give this one a 3.75 out of 5 claws.
This is a mushroom risotto with a truffle and asparagus and a golden truffle. It really smells like a quinoa to me. I'm just going to mix all the things together. And let's just see what a little bit of this tastes like all together. The quinoa is pretty prominent, so you have like earthy on earthy. It's definitely like a thing for people that like the earthiness. I like the asparagus. It gives like a nice little crunch to it, but it's a very earthy option. I'm going to give it a 3 out of 5 risottos. It's not a risotto. It's like a quinoa mushroom mixture. It's giving like storybook dining with Artist Point.
Never in the world are you going to be able to escape fine dining without trying truffle somewhere. Truffle is like the Floridian palmetto bug of fine dining. It's everywhere and you can't get rid of it. So, bits of shaved truffle on top of what looks like quinoa and a little bit of asparagus. Fruits of the earth, if you will. I am glad the truffle and the asparagus are prominent flavors. Quinoa makes a nice base texture-wise, but I don't love the flavor of the quinoa. The asparagus and the truffle actually go rather well together. They marry in this sort of like nice way that like brings out their flavor and sort of roast on them, but neither one is overpowering the other. That's a surprise because truffle is a really strong flavor that I feel a lot of places easily go overboard. This feels like foodie restraint. I give this a 4 out of 5 claws. We're going all in, showing off the talent with what I'm going to call zucchini inception. We have all sorts of zucchinis. You have like a roasted, you have a zucchini broth, a zucchini mash, tempura zucchini, zucchini flowers, like a little like zucchini caviar, like all the zucchini to sort of demonstrate and exemplify the different ways this is prepared across France and the regional flavors of the culture. Just going all in. I don't even know where to start. I'm just going to make a mess because there's so much to try here. Oddly enough, even though they assured us this is like a 100% vegetarian dish, the broth smells like a beef broth, like a thickened beef broth. The thickness and savoriness of that sauce, you would never get me to believe that was only zucchini. That broth has got thick, like heavy weight to it that you give it like a thickened beef broth. And then you have the crunch of the tempura. The roasted zucchini is nice, that like thin mashed zucchini, different flavors in there. And it's definitely zucchini in a fancy dress. It's not make it pink or make it blue, it's make it green. We like green. 4 out of 5 plus.
We have a beautiful tempura veggie in a beautiful sauce, and I love the crisscross and the way that they make these veggies. We had this crisscross situation previously when we went to Space 220, and it inspired the way that we made tofu from then on. So I'm going to take a few pieces here with the sauce, and I'm going to enjoy the 2 pieces together, and I can't wait to see how Bear thinks of the 2. Oop. If I can actually get the 2 things on the fork together, that is the challenge, apparently, for this tasting. Here we go. Wait, maybe? Ah, I did it. Yay. Cheers. The crisping is a little bit on the salty side, but then you have the sauce to kind of balance it out. And then I love the zucchini and the way that it's cooked with the little char. That's beautiful. This is a 4.75 out of 5 tempuras. This is a gorgeous dish.
We want this video to sort of be an example to a lot of the communities that, especially with these chef's menu signature, like the top tier of the signature dining, the chef's delight in being able to cater towards your dietary needs, like a challenge, like mixing it up, and they know their food well enough to offer you parity very easily. The princess has gotten dish to dish the same as I've gotten, and that is special. So don't shy away from them just because you might be vegan or vegetarian, or even if you have some sort of dietary restriction, because they will rise to the challenge. Even with those flavors, I don't necessarily miss the eggs and dairy that are in my version. You still get that nice savory broth. It definitely feels like it's much more than zucchini. But zucchini that's in zucchini, I'm doubling down on the zucchiniception. Most definitely. 4.5 out of 5 plus.
A beautiful palate cleanser reminding me of Victoria and Albert's, but of course, a different type of sophistication. Cheers. The flavor in that almost gives me a cola sensation. I'm not sure how I feel about that. I'm gonna give it a 3 out of 5 sorbets. It's a good palate cleanser though. It's gonna start me for the next dish.
We come to the palate cleanser because we have a few courses left, and you want to make sure that you're fresh. Your palate is refreshed to get all the flavors in. So their palate cleanser for this time, last time it was a brandy. This time it is a sort of a French regional moonshine. Now, each region apparently has their own, but this one's cherry focused with a bunch of cherries soaked in that same moonshine sort of liqueur on top of cherry ice. Not mad about that at all. I'm even going to take one of the cherries he gave me. Did he give you the option? Of course we opted for the cherries. That has a kick. That feels like some house brewed strongness, because that is powerful. It reminds me of the previous chef at California Grill. Chef Danny did a house infused liqueur he did with fruit and this special infusion case that honestly I was extremely jealous of. It's given that vibes, but definitely feeling refreshed and ready for more. 4.75 out of 5. We're here for the decadent portion of beef. And I know a lot of you steak and potatoes people would look at this beef and be like, you know what? That is the smallest cut of filet I have ever seen. But when you come to signature dining, the portions are smaller, but a bigger concentration on the flavors. Now, this is a cut of beef with truffle on top. Then they have a reduction of the beef on top, poured on top. And then to triple down, they have a truffle butter. That's the lighter brown you see here, poured on top. So beef with truffle, beef reduction, and then truffle butter on top. And then I have like a little eggplant here on the side with eggplants, olives, and a little bit of sauce underneath that. But we're going to go in just for the beef with a nice sharp knife. By itself first. Cuts extremely well. And they do ask you at the beginning of the meal how you like your meat prepared. Like most places, I always go with chef's choice. I want it how the chef intended. I don't want my steak well done. I don't want it mooing. However the chef decides it's best presented, that's how I'm eating it. It's a beef ghost. It's like a foodie holographic projection of beef onto your taste buds, and as soon as it's there, it's gone. It's very light, very tender. The truffle here, again, it's a light truffle, not overpowering, but that truffle butter on top of like the beef reduction gives it this flavor that literally just sort of like haunts the crevices of your mouth in a good way. Not like poltergeist sort of haunting. Think more like Casper the Friendly Ghost level haunting. That you want to hang around, be playful, make him your best bud. That's what that is. That cut of beef, 5 out of 5 claws. I have never considered myself to be a steak connoisseur, but things like this makes me understand why so many of you like the beef. Me, I've only got beef with myself. Now, to try it with the eggplant, with this sauce, I'm doing another cut of beef here. Double down on all the flavors. French food is not only rich in flavor, it is rich in history and experience. I appreciate this laser focus on keeping the ingredients simple, but the flavor intense. It's not like there's 15 ingredients in a dish. They're very selective in what they put in it and what complements what. This eggplant on the side of the beef, they pair together excellently. You get nice savory flavors. The truffle is excellent. The beef reduction is excellent. This is definitely, so far, the highlight of the meal. It deserves the 5 out of 5 claws. Delicious.
Now here we have a beautiful little, I don't even know what this is, option. Oh, it's an eggplant. Okay. Well, I used to get a butternut squash like soup. That was like my thing. So I think this is like the replacement for that. And I think I'm supposed to love this more, but I don't know if I will. The complexity of the flavors is way more than I expected it to be. That is incredible. I think this is where like my butternut soup was before when we were here the last time. And this is so much better. I would give this a 5 out of 5. This is a Princess's item. The flavors in this dish are like incredible.
So the chef here is taking the eggplant that was like the main, the side part of my dish, and made it the main here, giving it more structure with its own sauce and some more veggies, some carrots and everything else on top. A nice thinly sliced eggplant that's given like a delicate balance of things here. I'm excited to get an all-in bite. You definitely have like that melt in your mouth flavor of the eggplant combined with like there's some charred olives in there that give it like a nice like salty tartness that goes well with the carrot, so you're getting a balance like tart and sweet on top of the earthy eggplant and the sauce. It's definitely matching the richness, the flavor that I get from my Maine. Not so much the meaty portion. That's always been like the thing here. I definitely feel like the Princess is getting more offerings than we got last time when they were like sort of like making do. This feels more like a plan. I like the plan so far. I would give this a 4 out of 5 claws.
So we have an arugula illuminati salad with a truffle on truffle on truffle. This is going to be Bear's Dream, not mine. Cheers. Unmistakable truffle flavor, super salty for some reason. Most truffle doesn't taste as salty, but it does have a super salt action in there. I would give it a 3 out of 5 salads.
It appears even in France, I cannot escape. I've tried and I've tried, but the arugula Illuminati finds us wherever we go. I know about your vault and the contemporary, and I will not stop talking about it until somebody laughs at me. Not listens, laughs. So we have this arugula-based salad with walnuts and 2 kinds of truffle. And you can smell the truffle emanating it like a mushroom you would find in the forest, and then some walnuts. So there should be some earthy and interesting flavors in here. It would take truffle to take the bitterness out of the leafy green that is arugula. It's definitely still very much an arugula salad, but the truffle definitely helps give it like a character. Maybe a villain, but a character in the least. I would give this one 3.25 out of 5 claws. So the cheese course after the meat course is all about cheese. So one particular cheese, the same sort of Comté cheese we got in the beginning of this prestige chef's menu. So I have like a Comté cheese sort of dip. You have Comté cheese stick, and then a Comté cheese ice cream, and then you have a nice sourdough cheese bread in order to dip all the things in. So we're going to do it. We're going to dip the things. Bread is nice and toasted. Nice cheese bread in the cheese dip. It's nice and whipped. And a little bit of onion on there. Sort of augment the flavor. It's as if you laid down for a nap on Magic Kingdom hubgrass and pulled a delicious warm blanket of cheese over you and took a nap. A cheese blanket on hubgrass. That's the nearest feeling I can describe. 4.75 out of 5 claws. Now, going back in for more of the Comté cheese, you have the Comté cheese in a stick. So you have like little, like rectangle straw of Comté cheese. Again, I'm gonna put this on the bread. That feels the kind of cheese that you pull out for a boys' wine night. Or they and them. Either or. They, them, her, she, wine night. It'd be like the premier cheese. 4 out of 5 claws. Here is the cheese I'm most afraid of. So this is the Comté cheese the third way. But this is a Comté cheese ice cream aged. It's had 24 months. Cheese is dangerous enough for me. Ice cream, ever so dangerous. I bought enough magic pills for an army of bears. This might be the one that puts me away. Don't let the cheeseheads know that cheese ice cream is a thing. I don't want to walk into Baskin Robbins and see you scooping out 4 flavored cheese onto a cone. I'm going to judge you. You're not France. You're not this fancy. You didn't train at a Michelin star restaurant. Don't try it. Don't even try it. I know that you want to. Just don't do it. It'll never be this good. 4.5 out of 5 claws.
Beautiful little fruit plate for our dessert. It is a peach, apple, and strawberry situation with blueberries. How could I say no to this? Cheers. It's actually tangerine in there, so you have like the tangerine with the nice little strawberry situation. I think the only thing that would make this better is the sorbet, but just like fruits by themselves, it's okay. I'll give it like a 2.5 out of 5 desserts. It could be better. I think I had a better dessert downstairs.
A nice fruit salad. All of the fruits, a little bit of shaved Meyer lemon. To top off a food journey, like the Hobbit's Way to Isengard, but tastier and with less orcs. That Meyer lemon on top of the fruits cuts the sweetness, so when you're getting like what would normally be like a really sweet bowl, that touch of citrus on top really does make a difference. It's definitely not the most creative dirt the Princess had, but I think that it still has merit. I think it's a nice, what are the, fascinator on top of a meal. 3 out of 5 plus. Chocolate on its own is not enough, but competition chocolate. You have chocolate with a lime ice cream and then a chocolate crisp underneath that, because chocolate one way is definitely not enough. You have to have chocolate all the ways. Chocolate crumble, so not chocolate crisp. I feel like lime ice cream with chocolate is the same sort of idea as like a sprinkle of salt on top. A little bit of like activation on top of the chocolate. It's a chocolate situation, as the princess would say. It's tasty and a worthy dessert. 3.75 out of 5 claws. So, as a takeaway gift, as they would say, they give you different flavor macaroons to take home, 2 per person. Little like nice one. There is no vegan version because they use an egg and everything else to make the macaroons, but maybe they should talk to the everything company and get something done. It's a nice tart, like a lime macaroon. So delicate that I accidentally ate the entire thing in one bite. I was trying to take half of it. It just sort of fell into my mouth. It's so nice and delicate. Peak macaroon. I'll give that 4.5 out of 5 claws. Take them home, give them to your friends, make them jealous. So, Monsieur Paul experience, that was a trek.
I think it was very delicious. I think the menu change is amazing. I think Chef did an amazing job. I have no notes. If you want to do the classic Monsieur Paul, certainly do that, but then I think upgrading to the new seasonal menu,
The prestige,
is much better.
I definitely think they were much more prepared this time than the last time we went. The last time we just showed up. This time we'd actually send our dietary stuff ahead of time, so there was a little bit of warning.
I only said it 3 days ahead of time, though.
I mean, it's better than showing up on the doorstep and being like, hey, we need vegan food. Out of the goodness of their hearts, we didn't ask for this. They did alter the price a little bit for the princess's portion, so instead of being $2.60 for yours, it was $2.20.
Okay.
Because it's all vegan and there's no proteins or anything else. So that's something no other restaurant has ever done for us. They've done it here before. We don't ask.
Yes,
It's something they offered. But I like that they were able to match course for course, even on the prestige. Other than maybe like the dessert and maybe the main a little bit, I don't really feel like you were lacking. You definitely had course for course for me. But like the dessert was the fruit bowl, and then like your main, where like I had the beef, was just like the eggplant, which was good. I just wish it had been like meatier, like maybe like some sort of like mushroom or like quinoa block or something like that.
I don't know. I definitely didn't feel like there was a dish that was like hearty, so I would agree with Bear. I think I need something more, but like I couldn't really pinpoint what I needed more. But it was still a delicious meal. I think it was an amazing experience. Our server was amazing. We got to watch the fireworks from the table.
The goal is that
this
is a foodie experience more than a meal. You're getting all these flavors from all across France, and then the expertise of like a classically trained French chef. And like there are a lot of flavors, but you also learn a lot from both the server and the dishes, sharing their experience and their knowledge in their home country. So like you're learning while you're eating different things that we never knew about the food and the wine and the culture. So if it's something that you're interested in, don't let you having a special diet convince you not to do it. Because they will definitely accommodate you, and they do an excellent job making you feel at home.
Yes, and the menu currently is inspired by the south of France, but that's not a barrier to any dietary thing. Just send an email to Special Diets and they'll take care of you.
Yeah, their discovery menu is their main menu. That one's mostly the same. It appears now that the prestige menu, which is like the chef's special menu, is one that they have been updating seasonally. So this is like their summer version. So you can expect to see a new version of the prestige basically every season.
You see it in the winter.
Yeah, but given what you've seen, we know what you guys think. Is this something that you would do for a special experience for you guys, or is it something that's like a bit above? Like, is it too fancy? Do you feel like the food's not enough? Do you feel like you would leave hungry? I can tell you, even after just my food, I'm full. After all those plates, I'm very full. I have no room left to eat any food. I was struggling with dessert. And you can still get as much bread throughout the meal as you wanted. They offered several times, and we had other food to eat.
Yes.
But we know what you guys think. As always, if there's anything else you can see us do, even if it's more French food, the comments down below is always going to be a place to find us. Hit that notification bell if you want to see other videos like this. And
we have new videos 5 days a week. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Saturday.
And we will see you soon.
Be sure to subscribe and like this video. And if you don't comment, maybe Bear will eat himself into France.
Oui, oui. But you heard the girl.